Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe Parker with the Santa Barbara Group at Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate here, and I am going to give you the checklist that you need to take note of to move to Santa Barbara. So this is your moving to Santa Barbara checklist to get you ready for this relocation if you've figured out that Santa Barbara is going to be your next home. And I'm making these videos to connect with you guys so that you can understand what it's like to live here in Santa Barbara. So if it resonates with you, if you think we'd be a good fit to work with, if you're looking at this like, hey, I like this guy, reach out to me. That's why I make this. I want to meet you. I want to help you. So let's connect. So without any further ado, let's dive into the checklist that you need to prepare in order to get yourself ready to move here to Santa Barbara. So retirement, congratulations, you made it, and Santa Barbara's on your list, so really congratulations, you made it really well. And this is a great place to land, a great place to retire. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is connect with a realtor. Now, I'm a realtor, you don't need to connect with me, but connect with one, and if you do feel like you wanna connect with me, I'd be honored to have a conversation about what it is you're looking for and what it is Santa Barbara could offer you. But regardless of who you choose, you should definitely get with a local professional who's plugged in here, because they're gonna be your number one source for getting questions answered about anything you see come across your Zillow feed or your Realtor.com feed, whatever it is. You know, you're gonna wanna have someone here locally on the ground that could give you the backstory, the details, who has the relationship with these other listing agents out there. You're never gonna wanna go right to the listing agent because they're working for the seller. They don't have your best interest in mind. And as a realtor, we have fiduciary duties to make sure that we're taking care of your best interests. That's our number one goal here at the Santa Barbara Group, and that should be the number one goal of any realtor that you choose to work with. But that should be number one on your list, is to start your relationship with a realtor and start engaging with them so they understand what it is you're looking for, and they could help get you clear on what it is you want to accomplish with this move. Number two, you're going to want to set up your utilities. So let's assume you found a house, and now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the actual move. So before you move in, you're going to want to get your utilities set up. In Santa Barbara, we've got gas at Southern California Gas Company. You've got your electricity with Southern California Edison, and you've got a few choices for cable and internet like Cox Cable. Some areas will get you with fiber optics from Verizon. It's not throughout all of the community yet, but you will get some areas that have that set up for you. So be sure to make sure that your utilities are set up. And one final one, if you're in Santa Barbara, is the trash and water, which tend to be on the same bill. One company right there at the city of Santa Barbara organizing all that for you so that the Marburg and the city water all come in on the same bill. So that's your utility setup for moving here in Santa Barbara. Number three, healthcare. You're gonna wanna learn about the healthcare offerings here in Santa Barbara. Our main setup is located by Cottage Hospital. That's where you'll find the big Cottage Hospital, also Sansa Medical Clinic. That's kind of the medical district of Santa Barbara. There's a lot of other offices around there, private practices. There's some UCLA health offices in that general area as well. And both Cottage and Sansa Medical Clinic, the two main medical providers here in Santa Barbara, have little satellite offices, urgent cares scattered around the different communities and neighborhoods. So some of those may be closer to you, but it's good to acquaint yourself with where the main emergency rooms are, where the urgent care is, where the different doctors are, and also who is available, who's taking patients. What I've noticed lately is that most of the doctors are hugely impacted. The wait time is really, really far out. So you may have to do a little extra legwork. So it's good to get into it early before you actually need healthcare to line this up so that you're ready and you're dialed in, or at least you're making your reservation for your appointment, because I'm not kidding, some of these are booked out like a year and a half in advance to get on an appointment, especially with something like a dermatologist or something like that. So be sure to get onto their websites, figure out who you want to use for the various needs you might have medically. Number four, insurance. Now, your insurance needs are going to be broad. You got obviously your car, your health, your house is the main one I'm talking about though right now. It's great. What I do is I bundle mine all in one account. Most people do that. You tend to get savings and just the ease of access of going to one spot for your various policies. But with regards to insurance for your home, it's something that we're going to want to get into right away. When you found a home that you liked, and let's say we've made an offer on it and you put it into escrow, one of the first things I'm going to do is make sure we get an insurance quote for you if we don't do it before putting your offer in. If the home's located up in the high fire areas, we're gonna be looking into that before you even put an offer, because we're gonna need to know what kind of insurance liability you're gonna be facing if you choose to buy that home. The insurance for properties in the high fire area are always fluctuating. You're never guaranteed the same policy year after year, so you have to be open to some type of uncertainty when it comes to insurance. You're not gonna have the same cost or the same coverage year after year. It could be subject to change. You could be scrambling to find a provider that will give you insurance. Some people have to go with the California Fair Plan, which is a guaranteed plan that's always available. If there's no insurance providers that will offer you a policy for your property, you could always go to the California Fair Plan. It's going to cost a little bit more, and the coverage won't be as great, but at least it's coverage. Number 5, you're going to want to get all your vehicles registered. Now, you could do that at the DMV. We've got one in Santa Barbara. There's another one in Goleta. That one tends to be less crowded, a little bit easier to navigate. So if you're going to do it through the DMV, I'd recommend going to the Goleta DMV. Or if you're a member of AAA, that's the best way to do it. Just go to the AAA office. It's actually located right here on Upper State Street, next to my office here, Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate. Just about a block and a half down on Upper State Street is the AAA office. They have great services for DMV things like registration. So that would be my call, my recommendation to you. If you're not a member, join it just for that. It's really nice to avoid having to go to the DMV. Number 6. Banking. Now you're going to want to set up your banking here. Of course, Santa Barbara has the national banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, but we also have a lot of local and regional banks that you may want to check out as well, like Montecito Bank and Trust. So these are some of the things that you have to weigh what's best for you personally. Some people really like the personal touch of a smaller bank. Others like the security and accessibility of a really big bank. So you could easily, probably if you're in one of the big banks, just transfer everything and get set up here. But you may also want to look into building some relationships with some of the local banks, which are going to offer you some maybe unique products that aren't going to be available at some of the other establishments. Or maybe it is that you just really like that personal touch, that personal relationship with a local bank. So look into some of our local options, even a few credit unions out there that you may want to consider, and get yourself set up with some local banking. Number 7, don't forget to set up your mail forwarding. You can go to the post office or do it online, but you're going to want to make sure that you're getting all that mail that was going to your old address here to your Santa Barbara address. So make sure to get that set up and don't miss any of that important information coming in the mail. All right, number 8, the local community. Get yourself plugged in. You know, I would recommend tapping into whatever your interests are, and let's say it's running or biking or maybe knitting, you know, whatever it may be. I'm sure there's some type of organization here that's geared around that activity that would love to have someone new in their group. So reach out, get into some of these groups that way. Or something like the Newcomers Club here in Santa Barbara is a great organization. For $200, you get a 2-year membership, and that plugs you into all kinds of social activities, options that you get to choose from if you want to be a part of, engage in. And they're total variety from dinner stuff, wine tasting stuff, activities, going out to social events. You know, the sky's the limit. Really, really awesome group. About 75% of the group is retired people, so this is an awesome way for someone who is retiring in Santa Barbara to get plugged right into a social scene and a group of people with common interests. Number 9, figure out what your favorite grocery stores are around you. You got the bigger ones like Ralph's and Vaughn's, but then you also have the more specialty ones like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. We have the local spot that is called Lazy Acres. This is over on the Mesa. We also have Bristol Farms. This is another great one right here on Upper State Street, across the street from my office. I'm always going over there for lunch. I love their poke bar. You know, you get this awesome poke, very fresh, very delicious. So pick out what are your local grocery stores. Now what you'll find is that there's gonna be some of your favorites. You know, maybe it's Whole Foods, maybe it's Trader Joe's, and then there's going to be probably something that's convenient and close to you. And like what me and my family do is we've got our Trader Joe's run we do, we've got a Vaughn's run we do, and we've got Costco, and those are kind of our main ones. And then, you know, we know where the other ones are in case, you know, we're out and about and we need to grab something, and you could kind of figure out what's most convenient or what has what you're looking for based on what you've learned about the different grocery stores and different produce markets that are available here in town for you. So just familiarize yourself with those and kind of map out which ones are going to be your go-to local spots. Number 10. Find yourself a fitness place if that's what you're into. If you're the type that likes to go to a gym or be a member of a yoga studio or some other type of workout class. Maybe it's spin. Find some place that you could call home, that you could get plugged into. Personally, I love the Santa Barbara Athletic Club. This is a great spot that has a pool because I like to swim. It also has all the great machines and classes. But if you land in Montecito, perhaps you'd like to check out the Montecito YMCA. This is another really great spot to get all kinds of different workouts. You can do swimming there as well. They have an outdoor pool. The Montecito YMCA also has great workout facilities and some classes they offer up. So that could be a great spot too to line up. Bottom line is figure out what it is you love to do, and you will find that there is no shortage of things to plug into and join. And maybe it's not even an organized gym or a club. Maybe it's a organized group that does a regular Saturday morning hike up into the foothills or something like that, or goes out bird watching. Whatever it may be to give you that physical release, that active outlet, super important to take advantage of, not only for your own personal well-being, but just because you're paying the big bucks to be here in Santa Barbara, you might as well get out and enjoy it, especially if the activities you're choosing to do are outdoor activities. Number 11, volunteering. A lot of people like to plug into volunteering, and Santa Barbara has a ton of opportunities. So take a look at some of the different nonprofits here in town and opportunities to get out there and lend your time and effort and service to these. It helps enrich the community and enriches you, giving yourself those great vibes for giving back to the community. So be sure to not forget about all the volunteering you love to do when you move here, and check out some of the great opportunities available for you. Now, education, even though you're retired, doesn't mean you have to stop learning. In fact, a lot of people, when they get into retirement, it's the perfect time for them to learn new skills, new hobbies, kind of scratch the itch of new interests that you may have had over your lifetime that you have yet to have the time to dive into. And so you've got plenty of adult education opportunities through various programs offered by the City of Santa Barbara. Check out their website for different classes. Also through Santa Barbara City College, they have an adult ed program. And then also you may find that private businesses and companies will offer up things that will also enrich you, like cooking classes or painting classes. These types of things are available outside of the bigger institutions like the Santa Barbara City College Adult Ed program. You could dive in and you could find a lot of these, dancing around the different sites and different social media platforms like Facebook and whatnot, where you could find these things that are of interest to you. So start off what you're interested in, what brings you joy, and then see what the community has to offer you to where you can really dive into that and do more of it. Number 13, get to know all the arts and cultural events and venues offered up here in Santa Barbara. There's everything from concerts in the park in the summertime, that's going on right now as I film this video. This is down by the beach, free Thursday nights, all the way to big events like at the Santa Barbara Bowl, at the Arlington Theater. We have acts, ballet, concerts, symphonies, operas, all this stuff comes through. So you have a lot of options to get out there and see live music, comedy shows, plays, operas. So whatever it is you're interested in, just start searching around Santa Barbara. I'm almost certain you'll find something that's really cool that you're gonna wanna go see and do. And if you're really interested in hearing intellectual conversations, the Arts and Lectures program from UCSB brings in all kinds of great authors, speakers, lectures, events that you could tap into. So definitely plug into that if that sounds like something that would be up your alley. So those are some great choices to help continue to grow your knowledge and wisdom and help you experience new things in life that bring excitement. Number 14, get familiar with our local free weekly paper called The Independent. You'll find it at almost every coffee shop in town, and this is your number one source to find out what's going on in town, find out who the local businesses are that are advertising in our local paper, and just really get your finger on the pulse of the community. There's all kinds of great stories, really awesome reporting. It also has a real estate section, so you could get tapped into what's happening with real estate in that as well. But definitely look out for The Independent newspaper, weekly, free newsstands. You'll see it out there in the community. That's something you're gonna wanna pick up every Thursday when it comes out. Number 15, if you're on Facebook, you're gonna wanna join the Support Santa Barbara Biz Facebook group. This group is something I created back at the beginning of the pandemic to help support local businesses, to give them a platform to promote what they're doing to adapt to everything that was happening during the pandemic, all the promotions they were having, and it also a platform for locals to post about their awesome experiences at our local businesses and what they love about them. So this is a purely positive platform. There's no bashing, there's no bad reviews allowed on it. It's strictly a place to go and ask questions. Let's say you're looking for something in particular, jump on that site and put it in there. Or let's say, you think that it's already been answered, use the search tool in that site to go ahead and search for answers about what it is you're looking for. But I think you'll find it very entertaining and educational to learn about what's going on in Santa Barbara, and a great resource for you to tap in and get specific answers directed from locals right to you. All right, so that's my checklist for you as you plan your retirement here to Santa Barbara. If you want a full version of this sent to you, just reach out to me. I'm happy to give you a checklist that you could actually check off as you do each of these tasks. But regardless of what your plan is, if this video's resonated with you, if you think we would be a good fit, I would love to hear from you. I would love to help have a conversation about what your goals are, point you in the right direction so that you could feel like you're taking positive steps to reach your dreams and your goals of moving here to Santa Barbara. I'm Joe Parker with the Santa Barbara Group at Berkshire Hathaway Real Estate, Home Services, California Properties. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends. It helps me out and they'll be excited to learn more about Santa Barbara, I'm sure. So make it a great one, everyone.